Hey, so it is September and we're looking back this month at what happened in the month of August in Edmonton's real estate market. All right, so what happened in the month of August, other than everyone being on holidays? You have to note that this summer is probably the most traveled away summer in the last couple years. So it actually did, of course, impact our real estate market. Now, we've also had some other factors involved as well. We've had rising interest rates, more than we've ever seen in the last 2 years. And we've also had the world as the economic inflation and all the things that are affecting the inflation, affecting the real estate market. So in Edmonton, what we are seeing is it's starting to slow down. As I've said, the last couple months, it continues to slow down. So we still see the average price higher than last year, but last month it has dropped. Now, that's not too concerning because this is the time of year where things start to slow down in the fall and moving into the winter months. Last year we saw the spike come up in February. So if you look at the average price trend on the chart, it shows you a spike from January to February, and you can see from August to October, it was going down last year. Now, November and December last year had a little bit of a spike, but that's just because, again, our market was very inconsistent in the last couple of years. The regular trend is for it to slowly go down and slowly come back up in February, March. So your odds of selling as a seller have decreased from last month. If you take a look, we're trending downwards in terms of your odds of selling. Now, how do you combat that? Because just because the odds are coming down doesn't mean that you need to be part of those stats. That's why our team puts together a plan to make sure you're selling in no matter what kind of market. You always want to be the people that are selling, because at the end of the day, no matter what the economy is, what the market is doing, houses always sell and there's always houses that sit. So before, when it was really busy, your chances of selling were so high that almost every house was selling. Now we're seeing that you need to do all the things, just like I was encouraging you 6 months ago still to do all the things to get the most amount of money. You still want to do that right now. So though the odds of selling have dropped and there are more listings on the market, that's okay. It's a little bit more of a breather room. If you're looking to buy and sell in this market, then we can at least do some little bit of planning as to, depending on the market you're moving from and to, what should we do in terms of the strategy behind, do we list your house first or do we sell your house after you get an offer that we found a house for you? So month over month, we have had a lower amount of sales, but a higher amount of listings. So what that means is there's more choices, there's more houses still sitting on the market. Buyers are able to not have to decide within 24 hours if they want a house. But if the house is still priced well and is good, you still want to make a decision relatively quickly. Also because the interest rates continue to rise. Now, we did just see an increase recently, and there's speculation. The jury's out, honestly, if the rates are going to rise again for the rest of this year. I have heard that they're not supposed to, but I've also heard that they are supposed to. So take it for what you will. If you get a rate hold today, you have 120 days to buy a house and move in, depending on what your rate hold is for, whether it's for possession date or an offer written. So make sure you talk to professionals to see what kind of rate hold you can get. And you can still purchase a home well before the dreaded weather changes here in Edmonton. So it is important, if you're looking to sell and buy, that is still possible. Now, what we're also doing is making plans for next year. It's still nice right now. We can take photos of the outside of your house so that when we're putting your house up for sale in February, March to beat the spring rush, your house doesn't have that dead white snow look. You've actually got your nice garden in bloom or maybe fall pictures. So no big surprise, the average days on market has also increased from last month. And if you look at the trend over the last year, this is where average days on market tends to rise. So if you want to, again, combat the average days, make sure you align yourself with teams that are able to sell your home quicker than average days. We've always been able to sell our homes quicker than the average days on market, no matter what the real estate market is doing, because of the plan we have in place with the staging, with the pricing, and all the marketing that we do for your property. So something I find interesting is the kind of houses that sell. Now, I always say to you, the average or the homes price from 400 to 500 is always the highest demand. Now, that's no different, But I am surprised because the average price has gone up at Edmonton, and so I'm wondering why we haven't seen more houses sell in the $500,000 to $600,000 range, because we did have that as the average price. Now currently our average price is sitting just below 500 at 480 for single family homes, but it was for a while, in a couple months, if you've watched my videos, we were sitting at 500,000 as average price. So I kind of expected more sales in 500 to 600. But the 400 to 500 is still the one in the lead at 28% of sales so far this year, and 300 to 400 is slowly right behind at 23.5%. Now the 500 to 600 are the ones at only at 18%. So that's why I find that kind of interesting. Now, all that being said, Edmonton is known for affordable homes, and so what you buy in 300 to 400, that's a price point that people still want to stay within, and what you get for that price has now changed. So you used to be able to get a single family newer home in the $300,000 to $400,000 price range, and I would say those would be the townhouses with no condo fees. And yes, they're still available, but they're on the higher end, and we're even seeing some of those creep into the lower 400,000s, and that's for the new builds. And when you used to be able to buy like a zero lot line for 450 to 500, or a detached home, so the house is the garage in the back, no garage, you'd see that also in the 450 to 5. You're seeing that upwards of in the 550s now, which is so crazy to me. Still hard to register that the new builds cost so much more now. And so those go up. Now keep in mind, new home sales are not recorded in these stats because these are the statistics from the Edmonton Real Estate Board, and they only track whatever's listed on MLS. And a lot of the new homes are not on MLS, so you won't see the accurate, new homes to resale market. Now the resale market, of course, because of the demand, we have seen their prices go up. So what you can afford in resale has also changed. You used to be able to get a pretty decent home, you could get a pretty big home for 500, and that same amount is at more of 570, 600. So prices have shifted upwards. And if you look at the interest rates, people start to wonder what they can and cannot afford. So it's best to always sit down and figure out specifically for your neighborhood what makes the most sense for you and your family. Now, another interesting stat to note is that over the years I've been doing these market stats, Edmonton usually has about 2% in sales over $1 million, and that has not really changed this year. That's still the same in terms of what has been selling in the luxury market. Luxury market hasn't changed a whole lot. There was a little bit more demand. Things were moving a lot quicker this year, just like everything else, but they were the ones that started to slow down quicker when our market started to shift. So at this time of year, there's a lot of speculation always happening, wondering if people should still make the move now or wait until spring. And that's always the big giant question, but I have a question for you. What is your situation right now? The best time to move is always what is best for your family, not always trying to feel out the market. Because sometimes when you wait to feel out the market for the best time, that best time may actually be the worst for your family. So think about, do you want to move now? Do you want to hit it before the snow? Do you want to move in the snow? Maybe you get better pricing, but you get lesser, opportunities because there's less inventory, less houses for sale, so less choices, but then there's less competition. That's usually what happens in the winter. So that's kind of a peak in terms of buyers buying in the winter market, because we've helped many buyers buy because most people don't want to look at houses at minus 40 degrees. And people who are selling their home really do need to sell their home. Now there's a caveat. Sometimes people are just trying things out and they're just seeing if they can sell their house for what they want in the winter. So that's a bit of a challenge too. If you're a seller, I would highly encourage you not to be doing the feeling out market. Just wait until the time is right for you. If the time is right for you to sell in spring, to buy in the spring, because you got to do both, then let's just do that and make a plan for that. But we can chat earlier about that. If you're looking to move because your job is changing, kids need to move in schools, or maybe your kids are in school right now and you don't want to change them, then maybe you want to make that strategy and wait until later. The interest rates are always going to be the bigger factor, and there's always ways to still get deals because you can buy homes that need sweat equity. I know we haven't heard or seen that a whole lot lately because so many people just want to move in ready home, but there are ways to still get deals out in the market. You don't need to find a house that's falling apart. But most people are going towards the new and the renovated, and they're going to pay a premium for that now. And there's always an opportunity to buy those homes, and there's always the opportunity to buy the houses that need massive rehab, but there's a price tag that comes with that. So maybe there's some opportunity now to flip a house. And if that's a strategy you're looking at in terms of investment, maybe give us a shout and we'll talk to you about that too. Thanks so much for watching. We'll talk to you next month where we kind of see what's happening in the month of September to see if it really is continuing to slow down, which I think, spoiler alert, it is going to, but we'll talk to you in October.